Hi, good day. Ang subject natin, PRE 2, Auditing and Assurance Concepts and Application 1, Trade and Other Receivables, Classification and Accounts Receivables. So, review muna tayo about assets. Ano ba yung assets? Asset is a resource controlled by the entity as a result of past events and from which future economic benefits are expected to flow to the entity. It is the result of past event or transaction. So, yung, yung mga assets na familiar na tayo, yung na-discuss natin last time, yung cash. May right ka. Ano yung future Ano yung past event, pwedeng nag-invest ka or nag-invest yung owner sa business na magagamit for purchase ng ibang asset. So, yun yung cash asset. So, ano example ng pwedeng bilhin ng cash? So, inventories. Inventories, pwede mong ibenta. So, tangible na naman. And another one ay yung properties. So, madali lang ma-distinguish siya as asset. Pwede mong gamitin yung ownership andon. Kasi pag sinabi natin receivables, ano ba yung receivables? Connected yung receivables natin dun sa cash. So, asset siya kasi, as defined, it is a financial asset that represents contractual right to receive cash or another financial asset from another entity. Under PFRS 15, paragraph 108, a receivable is an entity's right to consider that is unconditional. So, yung receivable natin, common term, pautang, kasi by contract, pwedeng oral or written, may right ka na mag-demand for payment as a result of past transaction. Kasi pwedeng nagbenta ka sa yung customer, so meaning, yan yung mga trade receivables. Or other than customer or other than selling of goods or services, ang tawag na doon ay non-trade receivable. So may asset tayo kasi nagbenta tayo nagbenta tayo ng product or service which is the condition o consideration na binigay natin previously from the past na yung future economic benefit natin ay to claim for cash. So, considered yan as asset kasi may future economic benefit which is the right to demand for payment or meron tayong right to receive cash or another financial asset. So, ano yung other financial asset? In case na yung account receivable mo is a financial asset, nag naging due na siya, di ba mayroon tayong terms, 2, 10, and 30. So, supposed to be payable siya within 30 days. Pag lumampas ng 30 days, pwedeng humingi na pwede na tayong humingi sa ating customer ng notes, promissory note. So, yun yung another financial asset. So, for payment of account receivable, babayaran siya ng notes receivable na pwede nating discount in the future. Pwede natin ibenta yung notes receivable na yun sa iba. So, start tayo sa classification. Reviewin natin yung classification ng trade and other receivable. So, last time, ito yung ginawa natin sa cash. Ano ba yung excluded, conditional, at included sa ating trade and other receivable. So, nahati siya sa trade receivable at non-trade. Basta yung trade, ito yung may kinalaman sa products mo and services. So, ano yun? Account receivable, notes receivable. So, ang classification natin as to current or non-current, ang sabi ng standards, 12 months or 12 months or normal operating cycle, whichever is longer. Kasi yung normal operating cycle pwedeng mas mahaba in case halimbawa sa mga sasakyan, yung receivable nila by installment. So normal lang yun na transaction nung isang industry or negosyo. So depende sa negosyo kung yung operating cycle niya pwede pa yung lumampas ng 12 months. Kaya kahit lumampas ng 12 months, considered pa rin as current kasi yun yung kanyang normal operating cycle. Pero kung yun ay non-trade, so yung account receivable mo ay nag-arise from on-account sale, credit sale ng iyong product or services. In case na hindi makabayad, doon tayo nagde-demand ng notes receivable. So, ibig sabihin yung account receivable natin makakonvert into notes. Pag na-convert siya into notes, so ide-debit mo yung notes receivable, credit, accounts receivable. So, pag nag-default naman yung note, babalik uli siya sa accounts receivable. Yung dalawang yan connected dun sa sale mo ng products and services. Okay? So, mayroon pang other claims tayo or rights to receive cash or other financial asset. So, kung hindi siya connected dun sa ating products and services, ano yung reason bakit tayo makakatanggap ng other receivables? So, meron tayong non-trade receivables. Okay, so meron tayong non-trade receivables. So, yung non-trade receivables natin ay meron tayong generally short-term at generally long-term. Kasi ang rule natin, pag nasa non-trade receivables tayo, within 12 months lang yan. Kasi hindi siya, yung normal operating cycle is connected dun sa sale ng ating products and services. Kasi yun talaga yung purpose or primary reason nung business natin. Pero itong non-trade receivable, hindi talaga to yung purpose kung bakit tayo nag-create ng business. Kaya, ang rule dyan, within 12 months lang. Kung within 12 months siya, current. Pag naman more than 12 months, non-current. So, ano na yun generally, short term. Andyan yung advances to suppliers. Kasi normally, magbabayad tayo upon delivery. At hindi siya connected sa sale ng ating services and goods. Instead, purchases natin yon. Accrued income. So, andyan yung mga dividend receivable, rental receivable, interest receivable. Ito yung mga secondary source of income natin. Interest receivable, ayan. Deposits with creditors, claims for losses and damages. So, yung deposits na yan, mga regular deposits. So, ang example ng mga deposits niyan, kapag tayo bumibili sa tindahan na humihingi ng deposito sa bote, o yung mga small deposits, so yung mga yan ay part ng short term. Generally, pag walang additional statement. Claims for losses, nagkaroon ng mga damages. So, part pa rin ng short term. Kasi, pag nagkaroon ng mga damages or losses, on demand agad siya. Payable on demand. Tax refunds or rebates. Generally short term. Pag nakita niyo yung mga yan, debit balance of accounts payable. So, meaning, baka nagkaroon tayo ng overpayment sa ating suppliers. So, hindi pa rin siya related dun sa binebenta nating products or services. Connected siya dun sa ating suppliers. So, hindi binuo yung business natin para magbayad ng sobra dun sa ating mga suppliers. Kaya siya ay non-trade. So, pag nakita niyo yung mga yan, without additional statements, na yan ay collectible beyond 12 months, current receivables, non-trade. Pero, pag itong mga ito sa generally long term, wala tayong nakitang specific statement, kaya nakalagay generally long term, nakita natin non-current receivables yan. Pero pag nakakita tayo ng additional statement na sinasabi niyan ay collectible within 1 year, syempre, yan ay magiging current. Kaya conditional pa rin. May semi-conditional siya. Loans to officers, shareholders, directors, and employees. Pag walang additional statement as to collection, pag nakita natin yan, long-term, non-current. Advances to affiliates or subsidiaries. So, yun yung mga cash na ipinautang dun sa mga associates natin, sa mga subsidiaries, joint ventures. Kadalasan, ginagamit yan for capital expenditure, so long-term, generally. Unless, stated siya na collectible within 1 year. Special deposits. Special deposits. Yung kanina, regular deposits, short term yan. Kasi inaasahan mo, ibabalik din agad yung amount. Pero yung special deposits, sa mga long-term contracts yan. Mga performance deposits, ano pa, yung sa mga rents, halimbawa, di ba, nahingi ang mga boarding house ng deposito, yung mga long-term deposits. Basta nakalagay special deposits, nakita nyo, sa mga contract bids, bagay sa mga government projects, may mga special deposits yan na in case ma-default dun sa contract, yan dyan kukuhanin yung mga damages. So, yung mga ganong projects, gaya nung na-discuss natin nung nakaraan sa construction contracts, primarily sa mga construction yan, tsaka mga long-term contracts, yung special deposits, performance bonds, example niyan, long-term. Inaasahan mo, long-term yan, makukolect. Kaya, generally, long-term or non-current receivable. Subscription receivable. So, subscription receivables, connected siya saan? Dun sa pag-issue ng shares, sa pagbebenta ng share ng isang corporation, ng stock or ng share ng isang corporation. So, generally, long term. Pero pag nakalagay dyan, itong subscription receivable, hindi siya part ng non-trade receivable natin. Okay? So, yung subscription receivable, ano yan? Hindi siya magiging part ng long-term or non-current receivable. Instead, ang classification niya ay contra equity. Natandaan nyo, generally, contra equity. Pero kung nakalagay siya ay collectible within 1 year, magiging siyang part ng non-trade current receivable. Current asset, non-trade pa rin kung specified na siya ay collectible within 1 year. Pero, kung hindi specified, hindi siya non-current receivable. Instead, contra equity account siya. Deduction siya sa subscribed share capital. Okay? So, kuha tayo ng example. So, ang composition natin, kung yan ay transaction in connection to the primary business operation natin sa ating products and services, account receivable or notes receivable. Other than that, sa suppliers, stockholders, others who are not customers as to our products and services, non-trade. Kung non-trade yan, it could be generally long-term or generally short-term. Okay. Short term kung within 12 months. Beyond 12 months, long term. Pag kay trade, regardless. Gawa ng normal operating cycle. Okay, sample tayo. Sample. So, ito yung mga samples natin. We have trade account receivable, trade notes receivable, other current receivable. Okay, so trade account receivable, trade notes receivable, other current receivable, non-current receivable. So, isa-isahin natin. Mastercard or Visa credit card sale of merchandise to customers. Kung tayo ay tumatanggap ng credit card, ng Mastercard, so hindi agad yun mapupunta sa accounts natin. Instead, mapupunta yon sa halimbawa, ang credit card mo ay Land Bank. So, sa Land Bank muna. Tapos, maniningil tayo kay Land Bank. So, credit card sale of merchandise to customers. Related siya sa products natin. So, trade accounts receivable. Overpayment to supplier for inventory. So, related ba siya kay customer? So, non-trade na siya. Current or non-current? Current. Insurance claim on automobile accident. Related ba kay supplier? Kay customer? Hindi. So, non-trade. Kung non-trade siya, current or non-current? So, claim. On demand agad siya. So, itong tatlo, current, ito ay non-current. Itong dalawa ay trade, itong dalawa ay non-trade. Advances to sales manager due in 1 year. So, binuo ba yung business para kay sales manager? So, si customer ba yan? So, non-trade. Current or non-current? Within 1 year. So, current. May lumabas agad yung isa. 5-year note receivable due from company president. So, officer, wala nakalagay. So, may nakalagay 5 years. So, automatic non-current. Interest due on 5-year note. So, accruals to interest. Kaso, hindi siya customer natin. So, non-trade. Dahil due within 1 year, other current receivable. Acceptance of 6-month note for past due accounts arising from sales of inventory. Okay, so insurance claim dahil hindi naman natin siya customer. So, non-trade, current. Advance to sales manager. So, hindi naman natin siya customer. Automatic, non-trade. Ang tanong, current or non-current? Within 1 year daw, so current. 5-year note receivable due from company president. So, customer ba natin yung president? Hindi. So, non-trade. Ang tanong, current or non-current? Non-current. Interest due on 5-year note from company president, interest payable annually. So, interest due, interest receivable. So, ang interest receivable kasama ng mga accruals, generally short term, at nakalagay pa, payable annually. So, hindi siya trade. Instead, ang interest bakit ibinabayad? For the passage of time. So, siya ay other current receivable. Acceptance of 6-month note for past due account arising from sale of inventory. So, account receivable siya dati. Kaso nag-issue ng note. So, debit note receivable, credit account receivable. So, connected siya sa sale ng inventory. Meaning, connected sa customer natin at sa product. So, trade siya. Kaso, simpleng AR ba siya or note receivable na? Note receivable na. Accrued interest receivable on the note above. Connected siya dito. Kaso, yung interest ay connected sa inventory ba or passage of time? So, connected na siya sa passage of time. So, meaning, non-trade siya. Accrued interest receivable, walang sinabi. So, generally, short term. Overpayment by the customer of an account receivable. Nagsobra ng bayad ang ating customer. Kung sobra ang bayad, sabi dun sa law, solusyo, and DBT, ibalik ang sobrang bayad. So, may payable tayo. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya receivable, instead, payable, current payable. So, wala siya dyan sa mga yan. Account receivable to customer definitely uncollectible. So, i-write off na siya. Wala na rin siya dyan. Other trade account receivable. Given na. Trade account receivable. Trade account, even assigned or unassigned, is still trade account receivable pa rin sila. Note receivable. So, note receivable, automatic, dito ba siya? I-disregard ba natin yung 3 years? Kasi sabi may normal operating cycle naman. Ang tanong, yan ba'y connected sa products and services natin? Connected siya kay customers, pero nag-arise ba siya to sale of products or services? Hindi. Ang sabi, siya ay cash loan. Pinautang natin si customer. Payable within 3 years. So, trade ba yan or non-trade? Connected ba sa products or services? Hindi. Cash loan. So, non-trade. Pag non-trade, tatanungin mo na dyan, within 12 months or beyond 12 months? So, beyond 12 months. So, non-current. Claim from tax refund from last year. Claims. So, yun din-discuss natin kanina. Yan ba ay connected sa ating customers? Hindi. So, non-trade. Kung claim yan, generally, short term. Prepaid insurance for 4 months remaining in the policy period. So, yan ba ay collectibles? Collectibles ba ang prepaid insurance? Hindi. Supposed to be gagamitin natin yan for the succeeding period para cover tayo ng insurance. So, ibig sabihin yung 4,000 ay hindi receivable. Instead, anong classification niya? Prepaid expenses or prepaid insurance expense. So, may kadugsong pa siya. Advance to or receivable from stockholders. Generally, subscription. Hindi. Iba pa pala yan. Advances to or receivable from stockholders, pinautang natin ng stockholders. So, ang advances to stockholders generally long-term unless specified collectible within 1 year. Sabi dyan, 100,000 collectible currently. So, meaning, ang tanong pala muna, siya ba ay related sa customers? Hindi. Instead, connected siya sa stockholders. So, pwede bang trade yan? Hindi. Hindi siya connected to customers with regards to sale of products or services. So, ang kanyang classification, non-trade. Ang tanong, current or non-current? Both. 100,000 current, 150,000 non-current. Advances to affiliates. Yan yung mga sa subsidiaries natin. Or sa subsidiaries. Associates. Ayan. So, generally, long term. So, hindi siya sa customer, non-trade, long term. Subscription receivable. Connected sa stockholders, hindi sa customers, non-trade. Siya ba ay current or non-current? Walang specified, so generally, non-current. Non-current receivable. So, non-current receivable. Kaso, part ba siya ng non-current receivable? Collectible siya beyond 1 year. Kaso part ba siya ng non-current receivable? Hindi. Kasi tatandaan natin, part yan ng long term, ang presentation niya, deductible sa, or contra equity account siya. Deductible sa subscribed share capital. So, wala siya dyan. Deposits na special, generally, non-current. Dahil hindi siya related sa customers, non-trade, non-current. Dividend receivables, part ng accruals, walang specification, general, hindi connected sa customer, non-trade, unspecified kung gaano katagal masisingil, generally, short-term, current. Note receivable dishonored. So, pag na-dishonor ang notes, babalik lang siya sa accounts receivable. Accrued rent receivable, accruals. Connected ba sa ating customers na bumili ng products and services? Hindi rin. Kaya ibig sabihin, siya ay generally non-trade, current or non-current, generally current. Claims against common carriers. Nasira yung mga products natin, nagki-claim tayo sa kanila for damages. So, customer ba natin yung mga common carriers? Hindi. So, non-trade. Collectible within 1 year, beyond 1 year, generally within 1 year. Okay, so claims against common carriers, generally current. Acceptance of 8-month note from employees arising from sale of inventory. So, nag-accept na naman tayo ng note. Nag-arise sa sale ng inventory. So, siya ay notes receivable. Trade ba? Yes, dahil sa sale of inventory. Trade notes receivable. Trade installment receivable due within 16 months. Due within 16 months. So, installment receivable, trade. Ang ating rule ay within 12 months or operate with normal operating cycle. So, dahil siya trade, normal lang yung 6 months sa installment, like sa mga appliances na installment, sasakyan, real estates, installment and payments, yung may mga amortization. So, kung installment yan, syempre, inclusive, may interest din yan. Sa mga appliances, sinasabi na interest-free. Kaso, inclusive of interest yan. Pagdating natin sa notes, so yun yung magiging part ng discussion din natin sa auditing problems. Later na yon. So, trade, 16 months. Itatanong mo ba kung within 1 year or beyond 1 year? Hindi na. Ang titingnan mo lang dyan ay kung trade na siya, automatic trade, automatic current yan. So, connected siya sa ating sale. So, account receivable yan. Ayan. Kaso, yung buo bang 220,000 kasama? So, hindi. Unearned pa kasi yung 20,000. Ang presentation niya, deduction yung unearned interest income. Through time, ma-earn natin siya. So, 220 lang dun. So, okay. Compute natin yung total accounts receivable. Okay. So, 10,000 plus 50 plus 10 plus 5,000 plus 200 lang dito, 275,000. So, same din lang yung process dun sa iba, sa trade, notes receivable, i-add lang natin sila. 11,000. Itong other current receivable, so ang trade receivable natin, yung total nito, 286,000. Yung other current non-trade receivables, yung total nito, 156,000. Pag tinotal natin itong tatlo, ito yung trade and other receivable na ipipresent sa financial statements. Okay, so yung total ay 442,000 yung trade and other receivables natin. Yung trade and current non-trade receivables. So, yung total naman ng ating non-current receivables, 635,000. Pero pag tinanong ay yung total non-trade, so ibig sabihin pag ang tanong ay total non-trade, total current non-trade at total non-current non-trade, 635 plus 156, 791,000. So, maganda yung classification nyo, ganyan na, into 4 lagi. Kung siya ba ay trade account receivable, trade notes receivable, other current receivable, non-current non-trade, non-current other receivable, or non-current receivables. So, depende na lang dun sa tanong dun sa, sa problem. So, yun yung process natin. Okay. So, ano pa yung tatandaan natin pag may kinalaman sa ating account receivables? Ito pa siya. Ayan. Account receivable, kailan natin i-recognize? At saka yung corresponding revenue niya. Upon delivery, so general rule, delivery. Kaso may mga cases na undelivered products. Halimbawa, bill and hold. Yan ay may kontrata na kaso may mga cases na si customer hindi pa ready yung kanyang warehouse, nakabill na siya kaso naka-hold pa lang. So hindi pa yan kasama sa receivables natin or sa sales, hindi pa yan i-recognize na sale. Same with layaway. Yung layaway naman, pero pareho silang undelivered. Yung layaway naman, yan yung maghuhulog-hulog ka muna. Tapos pag na-kompleto mo na yung bayad mo, tsaka lang i-release i-deliver ni, tayo yung seller. Maghuhulog-hulog muna si customer natin. Pag na-kompleto na niya yung bayad, tsaka pa lang natin bibigay yung yung product. So, sa dalawang case na yan, hanggat hindi pa delivery, yun pa rin yung rule, except identified na. Sa bill and dyan sa dalawang yan, identified na, tsaka naka-reserve na yung mismong product. Ano ba, nakahiwalay na siya. At hindi natin pwedeng ibenta sa iba yung product. So, sale na natin yun. Pwede natin i-consider na sale at the same time receivable. Pero, pag dun sa layaway sales, kung na-receive na natin yung significant deposit or halos bayad na kumbaga, naka-identify na at ready for delivery na, yung remaining receivable, pwede natin isama at i-recognize yung corresponding revenue. Sa account receivable, yung iba naman, na-ship mo na. Kaso, hindi mo pa considered sale or at the same time, collectible or receivable. Halimbawa, for installation yun. Kung mga simple installation, pwede mo na yun i-consider na sale. Pero kung integral part ng product natin, yung sale, example, ay elevator, kasama yung installation. Hanggat di na-install yun, hindi pa yun sale. Or machinery, na integral part yung installation. Hanggat hindi na-install, hindi pa considered sold. Kasi integral part yung installation ng product. Pero kung hindi siya integral part, hindi pa siya considered sale, hindi pa yun considered receivable. Or, yung mga items for approval na i-deliver mo na kasi for approval, hindi ka sure na i-approve ng customer, uncertain pa. Kapag na-approve na, tsaka lang considered sale. And at the same time, collectible or receivable. Or, yung time ng approval, nag-lapse na, tsaka siya mako-considered sale. Pero yung mga yan, hanggat wala yung consideration dito sa yellow, hindi pa sila considered sale at the same time collectible. Ano pa? During sale transaction, ano yung mga consideration natin? Yung trade, volume, quantity discount. So, automatic, inaalis na yan. Debit, account receivable, credit sale. So, kung halimbawa may trade discount na 20, 10. So, times 0.8, times 0.9. So, yun na agad. Halimbawa, 100,000 times 0.8, 80,000 times 0.9, 72,000. So, ganun lang. So, debit, AR, credit, sales, 72,000. Yung cash discount or time discount, settlement discount, 2, 10, and 30, alam nyo na yan. 2% pag nakabayad within 10 days. At payable siya within 30 days. Pag lumampas ng 30 days, sabi nga kanina, pwede na tayo mag-demand ng notes ng promissory note. Shipping terms, FOB destination, ang magbabayad ng shipping fees, IC. Seller, tayo. FOB shipping point, ang magbabayad, si buyer. Prepaid, Freight prepaid, ang nagbayad muna ay tayo, seller. Freight collect, ang magbabayad, kokolektahin ni courier kay buyer. Okay. Ano yung mga nakaka-apekto sa ating account receivable? Nagbenta tayo on account, debit AR, credit, sales. Debit ang AR. Sinoli, mga bawasan ng AR. Nagbayad on time, within the discount period, may sales discount. Collection, including recoveries. Kaya pag sa problem, iingatan nyo itong dalawa, si recovery at saka itong recovery ng previously written off accounts. Kapag yung recovery ay sinabi, yung collection, exclude recovery, pag magko-compute kayo or magre-recompute kayo para sa ating AR, huwag na rin kayo magkasama dito. Account receivable written off. So, ang entry natin, kasi pag recovery ang entry natin, so write off muna. Anong entry kapag nag-write off? Debit, ADA, allowance for doubtful accounts, credit, AR. Pag na-recover mo, i-reverse mo kasi hindi mo naman pala dapat siya i-write off, di debit AR credit allowance. Tapos, na-collect mo yung cash, so debit cash, credit AR. So, all in all, yung recovery walang effect sa AR. Kaya kapag in-exclude nyo sa collection yung recovery, huwag mo na isama sa debit mo yung recovery. So, dapat lagi, kung isinama dito, isasama din siya dito. Kung hindi siya isinama, huwag mo siyang isasama dito kapag kayo ay magko-compute. Then, receipt of note receivable and payment of AR, yung example kanina. Pag na-default, ibabalik mo siya sa AR. So, yung differences, yun yung magiging ending AR. So, pwede kayo mag-squeeze dyan. Sa ADA naman, allowance for doubtful accounts. Kasi bakit tayo may allowance for doubtful accounts? Kasi, kapag tayo nagpautang, yung uncertainty na hindi talaga makakabayad, inaasahan na natin yun na hindi yung binigay natin, hindi babalik nung kagaya ng pagkakabigay natin. Hindi siya, kung nagbigay tayo ng buo, baka pagbalik hindi na ganun kabuo yung ma-receive natin. Kaya nagseset tayo ng allowance for doubtful accounts para in case na hindi siya bumalik ng buo ay hindi ganun ka nakakasama ng loob. Gawa ng inasahan mo na nag-create ka na ng allowance. Sorry. Accounting pa rin tayo. So, ganun, yun yung allowance for doubtful accounts. May doubt ka na makakabalik yun ng buo sa atin. So, reasonable lang yung inaasahan natin. So, paano yan? Ano nakaka-apekto sa ating allowance for doubtful accounts? So, we have the beginning ADA. May increase siya ng expense. May increase ng recoveries. At mababawasan ng write-off. So, may isa pa akong ginagamit dyan. So, yung Berwi method. Sa Berwi method, beginning ADA sa nakabase yan, di beginning AR. Ending ADA, nakabase ay sa ending account receivable. Expense, depende. Recovery, so beginning plus expense plus recovery minus write-off equals ending. So, i-squeeze nyo lang yan dyan kapag tayo magko-compute sa ADA. Kung expense ang hinahanap or kung ending ADA. Especially pag sa intermediate accounting. Okay, so paano ang pag-compute ng ating allowance for doubtful accounts? Review. So, makakompute natin yung allowance for doubtful accounts. Pwedeng based sa AR or pwedeng based sa sales. Kung naka-base tayo sa sales, ano makukuha nating figure? Halimbawa, 2% of sales. Ang makukuha nating figure, expense. Pero kung nakabase siya sa account receivable, aging, o kaya percentage of account receivable, 2% of account receivable, 2% of account receivable. So, nakabase ka ay sa and ending ang makukuha mo, ending allowance for doubtful accounts. Kung itong beginning, syempre makukuha mo yun sa beginning account receivable, itong ending, nakamatch lagi siya. Ending account receivable times certain percentage or based on aging of receivable, so makakuha natin yung ending. So pag atin natin na magkano yung expense natin, i-work back mo siya papunta dun sa expense. Pero kung naka-base naman sa sales, ang tanong ay ending ADA. So, 2% based on sales, compute mo yan. Ilagay mo yung recovery, alisin mo yung write-off. So, makakompute mo yung ending. So, yun yung Berwi method para kay ADA. So, pansamantala, hanggang dyan lang muna yung ating discussion. At by next week, hanggang dyan yung coverage ng ating preliminary examination. Yun lang. Thank you.